Greetings, wonderful viewers. In this video, I'm going to talk about why your dreams don't come true sometimes. And I need to talk about this because I feel like, sometimes we believe that no matter how hard we work and no matter what we do, or, nothing happens, or we feel that we have been, slighted by the universe. But I want to talk about some of the reasons why your dreams may have not come true. Not saying that they won't come true, because sometimes the things that we need to change about ourselves is not another degree. It's not writing another book. Sometimes we have to change some spiritual things about ourselves. And I feel like I did a lot of soul searching. Like all my life, I wanted to be a gazillionaire, like a billionaire. And I have, written several books, and I have done a lot of things in my life. And I find myself always like in a state of, not doing as well as I think I should have. So one day I had an epiphany with myself. I was thinking to myself, truthfully, if I had a gazillion dollars prior to this period in my life, I can tell you without a single doubt that I would be dead. I would be dead. I would have committed suicide. I don't know if I would have died from a drug overdose, because I'm not a person I don't use drugs, but I can see myself being completely stressed out. And I think I'm a person who would have been exploited by, bad deals, people who want to take advantage of other people. I can say, like, I had an epiphany this morning in the shower, and I said to myself, Cassandra, if I had $1 million when I was in my 20s, my 30s, I can say with a straight face, and I know with all my heart, that I wouldn't be here, and I don't think I would be here. And the reason I say this is I want to tell you a few stories about some of the personal growth that I have gone through recently. So at my job, I wanted to be on a committee, a hiring committee, and they would not allow me to be on this hiring committee. So I went to the person who was my direct supervisor at the time, and I said, I want to be on this committee. I had never been on a hiring committee before. And this person said, the reason we don't want you on the hiring committee, Cassandra, is because you allow, like, there was a certain person on my job, you allow yourself to, we look at you as a minion and a flunky for a particular person. And we know that that person will have 2 votes as opposed to 1 vote, because we're not sure if you have the self-esteem necessary to say and do what you really feel and think on the committee. This absolutely and completely blew my mind. This was like mind-blowing. Like a minion, a flunky. Like, I never saw myself as a minion or a flunky. But it was kind of shocking to me that the people in charge would see me as a person who I was very loyal to this other person. So anyway, she agreed to allow me on the committee only if I was capable of speaking my truth and being honest. And so that was like, and this was maybe about, I would say about 6 years ago. That was like the first time I had like what do you call it, like this epiphany in terms of, okay, I need to work on this. And so that was one. So can you imagine me with money and already like not speaking up for myself? A few years ago, I would say about 3 years ago, I broke my right hand, and I went through a deep depression. But after I broke my right hand, I can tell you I was not the same person. Like, I just felt like I can't let people take advantage of me. So for the first time, I really started standing up to people. like really being honest and speaking my truth and not letting people run over me. But I was like, what, 47? You know what I mean? Like I'm 50 now, like almost 51. And it took me a long time to like really grow up. So when I think to myself about some of the things and some of the mistakes that I've made in my life, I think, it wasn't, I've always been able to complete a goal. Like, oh, I need a degree. I can get a degree. If I say I'm going to write a book, I'm going to write a book. But the thing that I didn't have was the self-esteem and confidence in my own self-worth. And I guess, sometimes people think that I don't know. I think sometimes when we think of women, we think, well, she's in a relationship with some man who is like taking advantage of her, or a man who is not treating her right. But sometimes it's not it's not a man, or it's not a relationship. It could be your children. It could be your boss. It could be your friends. And sometimes we just don't have the self-esteem or the confidence in our own worth and our own value, and we don't stand up for ourselves. So I can truly say at this juncture in my life, I know that personally I would mess with me, but to get to this point, I'm not, I didn't get to this point overnight, and I find myself every day waking up feeling stronger about my belief in myself and my confidence, and not letting people walk over me. When I see something that I perceive as being racist or sexist or wrong, I'm going to speak out about it. Whereas there was a point in my life where I just didn't have the courage. So I'm just doing this video for people who, sometimes, who are striving for their dreams. And you may think that, oh God, I don't understand why I didn't get that promotion, or why I'm not able to move to the next level of my life. It may not be your skill set. You may have the perfect skills. There may be no one who can do the job better than you. But what could be possibly holding you back is you have not gotten to a point in your life yet where you are capable of standing up for yourself and speaking your truth. And if you are, and I personally believe like your mission for Earth or your professional goals they also need to be in alignment with your spiritual goals and your spiritual alignment. And I think that when you are a spiritual person, I don't think that the universe is going to give you $1 billion and know that you can't stand up for yourself. You know what I'm saying? That would be cruel. So I think that, but the thing is, that's interesting about working on your self-esteem and your self-worth is that I don't know if you can make yourself do it. Like, I don't know if you can just like, for example, you can say, well, I'm going to go get my master's degree. I think that's a lot easier because, somebody has already said, okay, you need this class, this class, this class. But working on your self-esteem, that could be a decade or more of work. And before you can actually, just be honest with yourself and say, you know what, I wasn't ready for that type of responsibility at the time because I wasn't strong enough to stand up for myself. So anyway, I hope this helps somebody. Thank you so much for watching.